Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So in today's episode, can you guys hear that? We're dropping car detailing knowledge bombs on you guys. So whether you're a DIYer, an enthusiast, a weekend warrior, or even a car detailing professional, we're going to be giving a lot of tips and tricks to bring your detailing game up to the next level. We're going to be solving a lot of problems and issues and just discussing topics or questions that have been asked through the past months. So lots of cool info. And among the topics that I'll be discussing today, it's a jam-packed episode. There's going to be things like, can we apply regular carnauba waxes or paint sealants on top of ceramic coatings? How do I make my own DIY clay lubricant or clay lube? How do you use a foam cannon? And what are the factors that influence how rich and how thick that foam gets? How do you make your own DIY IPA solution or isopropyl alcohol solution? How do you make your, how many polishing pads do you need for the compound stage? How many polishing pads do you need for the polishing stage? How do you dilute products, right, in spray bottles? How do you make air fresheners last longer? Do you need leather conditioners? So that's a common topic or question. What are the differences between a waterless wash and a rinseless wash? Are they the same thing? What are the differences basically? Is it okay to wash your car in an automatic car wash, whether it's with brushes or a touchless car wash? That and a bunch more awesome stuff. So you know the drill. It's going to be a jam-packed episode. Without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. So hey guys, I'm Pan. Welcome to the show. I hope you guys are having a great day. By the way, all the topics that I'll be talking about, if there are any products, tools, or equipment that I'll be presenting, I'll make it easy for you guys. I'll drop the links in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do, as usual, is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And by the way, if you want to continue to learn more about car detailing, be that cool guy or gal that subscribes to my channel. This is one of the biggest car detailing channels on YouTube. At the time of this recording, we have surpassed 600,000 subscribers and probably 70 million views. So all thanks to you guys. And if you haven't done so yet, click the subscribe button that's found under this video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel, never miss my future videos, and you'll continue to learn more about car detailing, all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques. So let's dive into the first question right away. Can you apply regular carnauba waxes or paint sealants on top of ceramic coatings? By the way, anything that I talk about today for ceramic coatings also applies to graphene coatings. And so the answer to that question is actually quite simple. Can you? Yes, you could apply waxes and paint sealants on top of ceramic coatings, but it is not recommended, and I'll explain why. First of all, so technology has evolved a lot in the past decades, especially in the last 5 to 10 years in the detailing world, and you get super high performing waxes now in spray form, like this Turtle Wax Ice spray wax. You get your traditional carnauba waxes, like this Obsessed Swiss wax, luxury shore car wax with very pure carnauba inside, so in the form of a paste. You also have synthetic paint sealants that last usually twice as long as waxes, and they give a glow or a shine that's more cold. That's why we typically follow that with an application of a carnauba wax for a warmer look or a richer look to the finish. So something like this Fuso Coat 12 months synthetic wax, we're not too sure what it's made out of, right? It's a fluorine-based synthetic paint sealant that'll last a long time. But essentially, you have sealants in liquid or paste form, and the same thing in spray, liquid, or paste for the waxes. Now, typically waxes are made with natural oils. They're made with some grease and lubricants, and they have this natural tendency to attract dust, dirt, debris, and a bunch of other stuff as well. And so although they do repel water a bit, they don't have anywhere close of the hydrophobic performance, so the water beading and the water sheeting that you're gonna get with a ceramic coating. And so if you apply a wax or a sealant on top of your coating, you'd be masking your coating's properties, and that you don't want. So ceramic coatings are my favorite form of paint protection for many reasons. For their great UV protection, they offer tremendous protection against all the elements. So you can have industrial fallout, even prevent brake dust from sticking a lot. They have self-cleaning properties. That means it's a lot easier to wash during your maintenance washes because of the hydrophobic properties mainly. So water beading and water sheeting. So the water is very quick to run off the panels. They're going to give you tremendous gloss, tremendous slickness, protect against tree sap, against acid rain, and a bunch of other stuff as well. And so their main properties, you want to keep those while going, right, for the length of the durability of that ceramic coating. And if you mask that with a topper that is not super compatible, well, first of all, you can't guarantee that the toppers are going to last a long time because ceramic coatings, they have a natural tendency to repel whatever is on them. So if you apply a wax or a sealant, it might last, what, a week to a few weeks at best. So you're not going to be getting the most out of it. The toppers that you do want to use on top of ceramic coatings or graphene coatings are either graphene-based or silicon dioxide, SiO2-based, basically ceramic components, spray forms of protectants, right? We call those silica spray sealants often, and that's the kind of stuff you want to not only use to rejuvenate your ceramic coating, to boost its properties, so the gloss, the slickness, the hydrophobic properties as well, but it's a good maintenance regimen to do every 2 to 3 months. So if you have a ceramic coated car, you're going to wash your vehicle, and then you're going to finish it off by applying a silica spray sealant. That's going to maximize the durability of your ceramic coating. So once again, although you can apply traditional waxes and paint sealants, well, I wouldn't recommend that because it's not going to last that long anyways on your ceramic coating, and you'd be hindering or blocking or masking, right, the properties of your ceramic coating. There's a reason why coatings have been developed, so they have their own properties, and you want to keep those going. So stick to a family of ceramic-based products. By the way, for pretty much all the topics I'm talking about today, I have more in-depth videos or reviews on my channel. I'll drop a few of those links in the description under the video for you guys to check out those videos. But yeah, I go into depth, including how to apply a ceramic coating on your vehicle and also how to do a proper maintenance wash on your ceramic coated car. So topic number 2, can I make my own DIY clay lubricant or clay lube? So the short answer is yes. First of all, so when you're using a clay bar, so it's like traditional clay, but the automotive form is a very mild abrasive, and this is made to remove embedded contamination from your clear coat, especially before you do machine polishing. And I'd recommend that if you have a wax or a paint sealant on your vehicle, once every 6 months, it's a good thing to do a clay bar. Of course, only clay a vehicle that needs it, right? So when you're done washing your car, you can dry it. Run your fingers in especially the lower parts of the doors and the rocker panels. And if you feel a gritty surface or a sandpaper-like texture or contamination in the clear coat, then you know it's time to clay. Because it could induce a bit of marring in the paint, we usually follow a clay stage by a paint polishing stage to remove that, add more clarity and gloss into your paintwork. There are also many other forms of clay media, so I really like clay towels like this nanoskin clay towel. You can get clay mitts. Basically, it's all the same purpose is to remove embedded contamination. But in order to do so, you need to have proper lubrication on your surface. You want that clay to glide as much as it can because, of course, you want to reduce the chances of scratching and swirling your paintwork. And so what I like are dedicated clay lubricants. Some of my favorite, once again, Chemical Guy's Clay Luber, which I put into this Quasar Mercury Pro Plus pumper. So it adds 2 shots when you're pushing it in and releasing it. That'll do a double spray, so I like that. Geon Clay Lube, which you can dilute, by the way, a very good clay lubricant. CarPro Emo Lube, and the Nanoskin Auto Scrub Glide Clay Lubricant, another one that you can dilute. You can use whichever one you want, but these are some of my favorite. So I really like dedicated clay lubricants because they don't add anything. You don't want to add any protection or gloss enhancers or stuff like that when you're claying your vehicle, because usually you follow that with a polishing stage and you don't want to gunk up your pads with any waxes, sealants, or gloss enhancers. It kind of defeats the purpose, right? And especially if you're applying a ceramic coating or a graphene coating, you don't want anything in your clay lubricants. So these guys are just pure clay lubricants. They rinse off freely and there's no residue left on the paint. Now, another economical way to do your own at home A little trick that a lot of pro detailers love to use that I'm sharing with you guys, the audience, is to have optimum no rinse that you can dilute in the form of a clay lubricant. So the optimum no rinse is a rinseless wash. So it's a very high technology rinseless wash. At that, it's been developed by Dr. David Gadusi in the USA, and he's one of the originators or creators of the modern clear coat on your vehicle. So he knows obviously how to take care of that technology. And this here, well, encapsulates and lifts dirt as form as a rinseless wash, but you can also dilute it for many forms. For an interior quick detailer, it works great on glass, but also it works fantastic as a clay lubricant. So what you do in a 32 ounce spray bottle, so something like this guy here, 32 ounce, this is a solution that I made. You're gonna use ½ an ounce of the optimum no rinse, and you're gonna add the rest to fill it up to the 32 ounce fill line with water. Ideally distilled water, but as we're using it as a clay lube, it doesn't really matter. It can be just regular tap water unless you have very hard water, then I'd recommend distilled or demineralized water, right? So ½ an ounce of optimum no rinse in a 32 ounce bottle and fill the rest up with water, and boom, that's it. You have your own super efficient clay lubricant, and this is very inexpensive, by the way, because you can use this for many forms, including a high performance rinseless wash. More on rinseless washes and waterless washes later on in the video. The other technique that a lot of people like to use, is not my favorite though, is soapy water. So when you're washing your vehicle, you're obviously going to have that soapy water with car shampoo. You can dip your mitt into that and then start squeezing your mitt as you're rubbing with the clay on the surface. Or you can mix a bit of soapy water solution in a spray bottle, add a few ounces of your car shampoo. Of course, have it wax free and none of that gloss enhancing or wax infusion or any type of protection, just a pure car shampoo, something like Adam's car shampoo if you want, and dilute that with water, and that's it, you're good to go. You have a DIY clay lubricant solution. So regardless which option you choose, the most important, guys, is to understand that you need lubrication. So more is better. So spray a lot of this, be very generous and liberal with the amount of lubricant that you're using on the surface when you're claying. Try to not do this, of course, in direct sunlight and on hot panels. If, like for anything in the detailing world, you want to work on cool surfaces, ideally in the shade or in a garage if possible. That will just make your experience a lot better. So the third topic is, how do you use a foam cannon and what influences the amount, quantity, richness, and thickness of foam that you're getting out of them? First of all, so a foam cannon is a contraption like this. So as the name states, well, it's a cannon that shoots out some snow foam. And so you typically get the container and then you get the top part, which is the cannon itself. So this one here is the newest generation MTM PF22.2 foam cannon with the wider base now. So this is probably my favorite foam cannon, but I did a foam cannon battle or shootout on my channel, by the way, which I highly encourage that you guys want to see. I compared a bunch of different cannons, so you're going to see their performance and we talk about them. One other very popular one from you guys that was purchased a lot is this Trinova foam cannon. But again, as you can tell, very similar in the term of build. And so what do you get? Typically on a foam cannon, if I show you the front here, so you're gonna have the tip, this is the fanning of the snow foam. You can typically adjust these. So you see if I turn the knob fully, it retracts, so it's fully open. And then as I turn it, it squeezes closer. So the tighter the tip like this is gonna make the fan spread out even more, so you're covering more space on your vehicle. And if we bring this close again, all right, if I do the opposite and make it wide open, well, it's gonna shoot out straight more in a stream. So those are two controls. I like to have it in the setting like this where it's most closed. So this is where I'm getting the widest fan. And on top, you also will have a control valve like this, usually with a plus or minus. I have it all the way turned up to the plus, and it lets more or less water in with the air mixture. So you're getting more a runny solution or watered down solution. Or if you turn it the other way around like I want it to fully open, well, then you're getting the most amount of foam. So how do you know which setting to use? Well, that's up to you guys to decide. It's super simple. Once you have your mix of your foam cannon dilution in there with your favorite snow foam, what you do is turn the control knob to full clockwise or full counterclockwise and see what kind of foam that you're getting. So if it's too runny for you and you want more foam, well then readjust it on the other side. Or if at the opposite, if it was too thick for you and you want to dilute it more or have it runnier, because a lot of people like different kinds of foams, well then you just play with it. So you can't get it wrong, guys. Just play with your settings. So essentially how wide the fan spreads here in the front, and then how watery or how thick the foam is going to come up here on the top. So of course you attach foam cannons through the 1/4 inch quick connect options to your pressure washer. So foam cannons are only made to be used with pressure washers. If you guys only have regular garden hoses, you cannot use a foam cannon, but you can use a foam gun. So that's a different attachment that goes directly onto the garden hose. That's for another video. Just don't expect the same performance as you'd be getting out of a foam cannon in a pressure washer for obvious reasons. You have more pressure, more water flow, so you're gonna get thicker and richer foam. The same thing with the majority, as I said, of the other foam cannons. So you get the container, and once again, same thing, 1/4 inch quick connect option here. In the front, you get your knob to control how wide that fan spreads in or out. So how much of a wide thing you'll be getting in the front. So either a stream or a wide fan. And then on top here, you get this control valve to make it more runny or thicker. Now, you guys have to know that there are a lot of factors that influence how rich or how thick the snow foam is that gets generated out of your system. So it's very variable and dependent on your setup. That's why you have to play around with your setup and try to figure out what are the variables that you have control on. So the type of pressure washer is one variable. So the higher the GPM or the gallons per minute, that's the output of water. So that's the higher the GPM, the more foam you're gonna get. So then the next factor is the type of foam cannon. So of course a good foam cannon works better than a cheaper one, but more importantly, it's gonna have parts that's gonna make it last a lot longer. The type of snow foam. So there are a lot of good snow foams out there, but there are a lot of snow foams that aren't that good as well. So there are a few, let me get some from my cupboard here that I absolutely love. And of course that I've used on my channel. You guys have seen that recently. So the Ethos Foam Party is one of them. Very, very good snow foam. Of course, the Adams Mega Foam that took first place in my last year's Car Detailing Products Awards video for Best Snow Foam. And one that I recently started that's probably going to take the awards this year, the Kosh Chemi GSF or Gentle Snow Foam. This is an awesome one. So these work specifically well in foam cannon applications. But so that's the third factor. The fourth factor is the dilution ratio of your snow foam. So there is no magical dilution that I can give you guys that's going to work for you, because it depends on, well, basically all these variables for you. So what I usually do is follow the instructions on the label to start off with. So if we look at the Kosh Chemi, for example, they tell you to use 20 milliliters of snow foam into 1 liter of water. And then you play around with that afterwards to get more or less foam. So typically for me, it's going to be probably around 2 to 3 ounces of a snow foam with 16 to 18 ounces of water in the foam cannon container for a total solution of roughly 20 to 21 ounces. That works great for me. But once again, start with the instructions on the labels and then adjust the dilution accordingly. And the fifth variable as well is basically, well, the water quality in your house. So in my home, I have a water softener setup, which of course makes sure that I'm getting the purest or highest quality water. And a step above that would be to have a DI system, so a water deionizer. So you're basically using the cleanest water possible. So the cleaner the water, the more suds, the more foam, and the richer the foam that you're gonna be getting. So it's like that for anything. Even if you have I have a water softener system for my entire house, so I benefit from that because the lather is better when you're cleaning yourself, right? When you're in the shower or in the bath and you're using soap or shampoo, you're gonna get a thicker and richer lather. So the higher quality water usually plays a big role. So if you have hard water issues where you live, it's normal that you're not gonna be getting the same rich, thick foam that you see in a lot of detailing videos. So just keep that in mind. So topic number 4, can I make my own IPA solution or paint prep? So an IPA solution is an isopropyl alcohol mix, and it's made to remove polishing oils and residue after you're done polishing your vehicle. So it's especially crucial before you apply a ceramic coating or graphene coating, because if you have any leftover polishing oils or residue on your paintwork, well, that's going to interfere with the coating properly bonding to your clear coat. So you want the surface to be as squeaky clean as possible, free of any waxes, sealants, any previous protection of any oils from the polishing stage, or any residue as well. So typically you're going to see me use 2 of them that I really like. So CarPro Eraser, one of my favorite ones, and same goes for Geon Prep. So these are pre-mixed, pre-made IPA solutions. They're actually paint preps, and they're made by ceramic coating companies. So they're obviously compatible with their coatings. So ideally, if you do have a ceramic coating from a brand, so say you have the Geon Synchro Kit ceramic coating, or you have the CarPro Sequartz UK 3.0, I would say stay within the same family because you're guaranteed of the chemical compatibility. So if you have a CarPro coating, use CarPro Eraser. If you have a Geon coating, use the Geon Prep. Pretty much every company has it. G-Technique has what they call their panel prep. Optimum has Optimum Paint Prep, so on and so forth. So they usually all have pre-mixed solutions. However, if you want it to be a bit more economical, especially if you're a professional detailer and you do a lot of high volume stuff, well, you can do your own DIY solution in a spray bottle. So what you would do is you go to your grocery store or your local pharmacy and you buy just some regular isopropyl rubbing alcohol. So they typically come in 2 forms, 70% like this one, or 91% IPA. And what you do is actually super simple. So if you bought the 91% IPA in a 32-ounce bottle, you're going to be using 4 ounces of the 91% IPA and 28 ounces of water. Try to use distilled water. The better the water, the better, or demineralized water. And that's it. You have your 32-ounce solution. So 4 ounces of the 91% isopropyl alcohol, 28 ounces of water, and you have your 32-ounce solution. If you have, like me, this 70% isopropyl alcohol solution, what you're going to do is use 8 ounces of this and 24 ounces of water in your 32-ounce solution, and there you go. So the total overall solution in IPA is going to be like a 12 to 13% final result. So it's perfect for even softer clear coats that are more gentle, and you won't ruin anything that way. So if you want to do your own DIY solution, this is what you do. But personally, again, I always prefer pre-mixed stuff. It removes all that headache of having to dilute your stuff and understanding the ratios and that kind of thing. So these are very efficient and they work super well. So the topic number 5, how many pads do I need when I'm doing a compound stage, and how many pads do I need when I'm doing a polishing stage? So whether you're using microfiber pads, wool pads, or foam pads, well, it's super important to work as cleanly as possible. So you clean your pads often, either with a pad washer or a pad brush when you're detailing, or if you have some compressed air, you can use that as well. You're going to use compressed air on wool and microfiber pads, but not on foam pads because you're going to destroy the structures. Just a quick tip. I have videos on how to take care of your pads, by the way, on my channel, how to clean them properly. But essentially, so when you're doing polishing, it depends, of course, on the size of your vehicle. But for your average mid-sized car, what I do is typically I will use 4 to 5 pads for a vehicle for the compound stage, and 4 to 5 pads for the polishing stage. So I prefer to work clean with efficient pads. After every pass, I will clean the pad as much as I can before I continue on. And after every few panels, I switch to a fresh pad. That is super important, because if you use just one pad for the entire job, you're not going to be efficient. The entire pad is going to be probably clogged with your polish or compound solution, and it won't have the cutting or finishing effect that you're looking for, because it's going to be oversaturated. If you have a bigger vehicle, you can move up to 6 or 7 pads for the compound stage and 6 or 7 pads for the polishing stage. So you have to readjust accordingly, but definitely work clean and use more pads than not enough, right? So it's always best. So just keep in mind in the end that the cleaner the pad, the fresher the pad, the more performance you're going to be getting out of it, and you're going to be struggling a lot less when you're doing paint correction. So topic number 6. How do you dilute products? This is probably one of the most asked questions. So let me get a few items here ready for you guys to be able to demonstrate all of this to you. Okay, first of all, so I'm going to get my trusty phone. When we talk about dilutions, so what is super important to understand is that there are two numbers, right? So you have a 2-to-1 dilution, a 4-to-1 dilution ratio, a 10-to-1 dilution, or 15-to-1, so on and so forth. So what do those numbers mean? The 1 is always the amount of product, and the bigger number is always the amount of water. So a 3-to-1 dilution means 3 parts of water for every part of product. So if you're using, 10 ounces of product, well, 3 times that amount is 30 ounces of water. So you'd add 30 ounces of water, 10 ounces of product for a total solution of 40 ounces, and that's your 3-to-1 dilution ratio. However, that sounds very mathematical. How do you actually do that to be able to put that in a spray bottle in the end, right? So typically we have 16 ounces and 32 ounce bottles that we use for sprayers. So what you would do is you take your calculator that you have on your phone, or a calculator at home if you want. I'll give you the easier way, or the idiot-proof way, in just a few seconds. But if you want the mathematical way, so for example, if you have a 32 ounce spray bottle and you want a, 6-to-1 dilution ratio, or you want a 9-to-1 dilution ratio, for example, well, let's stick to the 6-to-1. So 6-to-1 dilution ratio means that you have 6 equal parts of water for every part of product. So 6 parts plus 1 part, that's 7 parts total, right? So 32 ounces that you have in total volume available in your spray bottle. If you divide that by 7 equal parts in total, so that's roughly 4.57 ounces per part. So if you want your 6-to-1 dilution ratio, you would have your 1 part of product, which is 4.57 ounces. And to that, you would add your 6 parts of water, which is 27.42 ounces of water. And that's it. You have your 32 ounces of water, of solution total in your spray bottle. So that's how you would do it. So let's make another example. Let's say you want a 3-to-1 dilution ratio in your 32 ounce bottle. So once again, 32 ounces in total. 3-to-1 dilution ratio means 3 parts of water for 1 part of product for 4 parts total, right? 3 plus 1, 4. So 32 ounces divided by 4 parts in total, that means 8 ounces per part. So you have 8 ounces of product, and your 3 parts of water in this case is 24 ounces of water, because that's 3 times 8. So 24 ounces of water plus your 8 ounces of product, that is 32 ounces of solution, and so on and so forth. So that's the mathematical way that you can use for any size bottle. However, they've gotten awesome and will make stuff idiot-proof for you guys. So these are 2 spray bottles that I recommend, not only because they're quality bottles and they come with good sprayers, but they have the dilution ratios ready for you guys on the side. That's how easy it is. So let me give you a close-up. Hopefully you can see this. So on the side, you have all these markings here. And if I look at it, you have, see, 10-to-1, 5-to-1, 3-to-1, 2-to-1, 1-to-1 dilution. So all these pre-made dilutions here in the back with the quantities that make it super idiot-proof. And you have here up top, if you look, this is the fill line. So they even tell you up to where to fill it out. So this is one from Chemical, guys. Everything's going to be in the links under the video, guys, in the description for you guys to check them out, by the way. And another newer one here, this is a 16.9 fluid ounce bottle from CarPro. It's their dilute bottle. So again, good sprayer, good bottle, but here on the side, this is how easy it is. You see all these lines here, so you get all your dilutions that are clearly written, and you get your fill line up top because it says fill up to this line here on the side. Hopefully you guys can see that. So if I look here, 1-to-1. So you would add, and it even tells you product to water ratio. First fill up with water to the desired ratio. So let me give you a close-up of this. So see here, first fill up with water to the desired ratio. So if you want a 1-to-1 ratio, you would start filling your water up to this line, and then from there up to the fill line, you would add your product. You mix it up and you get your 1-to-1 dilution. So it has 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1, 8-to-1, 10-to-1, 15-to-1, 20-to-1, 30-to-1, basically all the dilution ratios that you're gonna need. So these are two of my favorite sprayers because they make diluting your products so easy, and you're gonna look like a boss because you're gonna get your dilutions spot on every single time. So topic number 7, how do you make air fresheners last longer? So this is gonna be an awesome pro tip that you guys are definitely gonna love because we're always in the chase of something better or that smells better in the car, right? What better effect or feeling that when you're done detailing your vehicle, you add that last final touch with an air freshener because you like the fragrance, just a mild light touch to differentiate yourself from anybody else out there. People get into your car and they're like, wow, this smells awesome. However, you guys probably noticed that we're always in the hunt for the longest lasting air fresheners, and a lot of them barely last a few days. Sometimes after a few hours, the effect is gone. Of course, there is the fact that you also get used to smells very quickly. But if you want something that'll last a bit longer, it's not always the issue of the product, because there are some products that you love to smell, but you want them to smell longer, right? So a quick tip is when you're in your vehicle, turn the AC on to max, to full blast, and run the system in air recirculation mode so it recycles the air within the cabin. And then in the footwell, you're gonna spray a bit of your favorite air freshener in the footwell. That's gonna get sucked in when you're spraying it to the air ducts, and it's gonna coat the interior part of your air ducts. And then every time you turn on that AC, well, you're gonna have a bit of that air freshener smell that's gonna last even longer because it's coating those air ducts inside. So things like some of my favorite, the Chemical Guys Honeydew air freshener, Angel Wax Bliss, Angel Wax Eden as well. These are a bit harder to source or harder to find, but those are some of my favorite ones. But regardless, this is a subjective thing, right? The smell, you guys choose whatever you want, but that little tip, so AC on the full blast in the footwells where you get those air ducts, it's gonna suck in the spray that you're gonna give a few sprays there in the footwell area. That's gonna get sucked into the air ducts. It's gonna coat the ducts, and that way every time you turn on your AC, where you're going to be getting a bit of that smell or that nice effect as well for a longer period of time. By the way, guys, if you have any of these tips that you want to share with my viewers, I always read myself the comments. I try to reply to everybody on YouTube, but just for the greater knowledge of the community, let us know what your tricks are for your air fresheners or any other of these tips in this video. I think it'll be cool to share. So topic number 8, do you need to apply leather conditioners on your leather seats? Well, the short answer is no. So after discussing with the world-renowned leather experts from Color Lock, what they made me understand is the majority of modern leather, so anything, let's say in the past 20 years in your vehicles, 99.9% of it, so pretty much anything that comes out of the factory, has a clear coat or a protective coating on top, kind of like the clear coat that's on your paintwork, right? So you get the base layer or the primer, you get the color layer, which is the paint, and then you get your clear coat on top of your paint, and that kind of protects the paint against the UV rays and the elements and all that kind of stuff. Well, the same goes for leather. So modern leather is coated because the leather has that protective layer on top, kind of like a plastic transparent coating on top. And so it's a non-porous layer of protection, and it's impenetrable by liquids. So even if you try to add conditioners, they're not going to penetrate that layer and go deep inside to actually nourish the leather. Now, there's a slight little thing to that, is that if you have older worn leather or damaged leather that has started to fade or crack, well, maybe a conditioner might help, because then it could technically penetrate a little more and start acting on there. You get stuff like creams for leather as well that you could apply to rejuvenate and restore older leather, but that's a thing for another topic. So technically, again, conditioners are not needed on modern leather if it's in good condition, because it will not penetrate the surface. Now, a thing can be said that conditioners can still add a form of silky smooth feeling to the leather. So at least there's that, if you appreciate that, but it is not needed, and actually it won't do what it's supposed to. What you do use on leather, first of all, you're going to want to clean your leather before you do anything. I have a leather cleaning and protection tutorial on my channel that I did recently for leather seats, and that includes perforated, heated, and cooled, and even massaging seats like I had in my BMW. So if you're curious to see that, I used that in the demo. I also have a leather steering wheel cleaning and protection tutorial. But basically for any leather surface, you're going to want to start to clean it with a leather cleaner. They usually have mild cleaners and more heavy duty cleaners depending on how soiled your leather is. So you want to clean the leather to remove any oils, any dirt, any residue, any grime before you add any protection. And the protection that you do want to add is something like a color lock leather shield. This is a leather sealant, or the new CarPro Sequartz Leather 2.0 that they released this year. So basically a ceramic coating for leather. What these two are scheduled to do is either protect against some UV rays, but the most important thing is to protect the leather against friction damage, against dye transfer, stuff like from your jeans, right? That awful blue color, make them easier to clean. And of course, against liquid spills, again, making them easier to clean and wash during your maintenance regimen washes. So things like a leather sealant, that works super well. You'll want to reapply this every 3 to 4 months in your vehicle. And a ceramic coating for your leather, you're going to want to reapply this roughly every 10 to 12 months. They have about a year of durability. But the main point, especially on newer cars, anything that you've had from day one all the way up to 3 years, typically all they need is this. You want to protect them against fading, against cracking, against the UV rays, and of course, well, against friction damage, like I said. So that's coming in and out of your vehicle. This provides more of a, not super slippery, because obviously you're not going to slip off your seats, but more, let's say, lubrication from when you're coming in or out of your vehicle, so less chances of damaging the leather. The dye transfer is going to be a lot easier to clean, so just a wipe often with a damp towel and you're good to go. And of course, make the liquid spills or any spills that you have in your vehicle a lot easier to clean, because these add a hydrophobic barrier onto your seats. So meaning the water is going to beat up on it. It's kind of like a shield on top of your leather. So this is the kind of stuff that you'll be using on your modern leather. So topic number 9, what is the difference between a waterless wash and a rinseless wash? First of all, the more general topic is when you wash your car, what you want to do is use proper techniques so you don't want to scratch or swirl the finish, right? That's why I like to use the 2-bucket method, because you have 1 bucket with your clean rinse water to dunk your mitt in to get rid of that dirt and grime. And then your second bucket has your soapy solution, and you have usually grit guards in the bottom that keep all that grit in the bottom of the buckets and not into your soapy wash solution. So you're going to typically dunk your microfiber wash mitt inside your soapy water, do a panel, and then come back into your rinse bucket, rinse it out before you dunk it back into your wash solution, and so on and so forth. So always in an effort to prevent the amount of swirls or scratches. However, not everyone has access to free-flowing water when washing their car. You can be an apartment dweller, you live in a condo, or you live in a state with heavy water restrictions where water isn't allowed to being used to wash your vehicle. There's a bunch of reasons why you might not have an easy access to water. So the technology has evolved to the point where you have 2 other types now of alternatives for washing your vehicle, although I still always recommend using the 2-bucket method when you can. This is always something that I give you as the first tip. If you have access to water, use a 2-bucket wash method. Believe me on that one. So the alternative, if you do not have access to water, is first of all a rinseless wash, which is basically a solution that you'll still need a bucket of water. You're going to put the rinseless solution in there, mix it up, and then you use your wash media. Some like to use a microfiber wash mitt, or the other method is to use many microfiber towels. You dunk them in there, you let them soak, and then you use one, you wipe your panel. But the good thing about a rinseless wash, it says it in the name, is at the end, you do not need to rinse your vehicle off. All you need is to take your microfiber drying towel, you dry the vehicle, and you're good to go. So these have evolved to the point where they're super good to lift and encapsulate dirt and debris. And this is the best of the 2 alternatives. So between a waterless wash and a rinseless wash, if you have no other choice, I would go for a rinseless wash, because you still have a bit of water in the mix in your gallon, right, or in your wash bucket. So the most classic known is Optimum No Rinse. So this is a polymer. So people think it's a soap. No, it's a polymer. Very highly, well, sophisticated formula. This is the new formula, by the way. So great lubrication, lifts all that dirt off the surface. And if done well, so when you're using your towel, you're going to lift and roll the towel away from the surface, or you can apply it using a sponge. And I think I have one to show you guys, because we used to have the big red sponge, right? Yes, from Optimum, that was developed for that. So this sponge here that we were using for the rinseless washes, you apply a rinseless wash with the sponge to a vehicle. So normally, yeah, I don't recommend washing your car traditionally with sponges, but in this case it's fine because it's developed for that. So you're gonna dunk it into your solution, you're gonna wring it to the point where it's a bit still dripping, that's how you want it, and then you're gonna apply it on your vehicle very lightly. But now, the rag company developed this black sponge, so even better because it's more ergonomic, and they developed this foam to be even gentler on the surface. So this is kind of the new generation of the Optimum Big Red Sponge. Now you have the TRC, the black sponge that you can use for your rinseless washes. So basically you're going to apply this on the vehicle, and that's it. Once you're done, you take your microfiber towel and you dry it away, and that's it, you're good to go. And the other one that I tested that is also very good, I did a full review on their products, is the OP Care Eco Wash Rinseless Car Wash. All of these can be diluted, super high performance, great lubrication. And now the other alternative, so if you have zero access to water, so you can't even have a bucket with water, so basically no water, you're gonna use a waterless wash. By the way, for these two types, rinseless and waterless, I only recommend them on mildly dirty or dusty vehicles, so light dirt or very light dust, that's about it. If your car is dirty, do not do that at home. You're gonna have too many chances of scratching or swirling your cars. I mean, use common sense, right? If your car is super dirty and caked with mud, you're not gonna use something like this without pressure washing your vehicle. So I would recommend then, if you have no other choice, to go to have your car hand washed at a renowned detailer near you, somebody you trust, or the last resort, is to use an automated car wash, a touchless one if possible, but try to take care of your own vehicles at home using proper washing and drying methods. So like I said, the other alternative for lightly dirty or slightly dusty cars is to use waterless washes. So waterless washes, typically like this, are applied on a dry surface, on a dry panel, and then wiped with a towel. A lot of them now are infused with technology. So like this one here has silica or ceramic technology from Glassparency. These are all good waterless washes. You get the ceramic 3-in-1 detailer, the hybrid solutions from Turtle Wax, that can act as a waterless wash. You have EC2O or Echo from CarPro, a waterless wash and quick detailer. It can be diluted. And the last coat, this is their go-to waterless wash because it is graphene infused. So this is a brand new version. I don't know if you can tell here, the infusion or particles inside there, the dark particles. Yeah. So this is infused probably with what is graphene oxide, to my knowledge, and a 16-ounce bottle. So basically you would spray on the surface very, very generously right? Let it dwell on the surface a bit, let it time to encapsulate all that dirt and to fully saturate the panel. And then you'd come in with your microfiber towel, get them as plush and as gentle as possible. Something like the rag company, they make the Minx, they have the Eagle Edgeless, they have the Minx Royale, basically a very thick and plush towel. And you're gonna roll that towel gently on the surface in a straight line and lift it off. Go to a clean side of the towel and repeat, so on and so forth. So you're gonna be using a lot of towels on your vehicle, but use clean and fresh sides when you're doing that. Again, to try and minimize the chances of swirls and scratches as much as you can. So to resume, rinseless wash, basically you're gonna dilute some of this in a wash bucket so you have a bit of water. You're gonna use either microfiber towels or the special sponges that are created for that. You apply it on the surface, and then when you're done, you simply use a microfiber drying towel and you gently dry, and that's it, you're good to go. Or the other alternative, if you have zero access to water, is to use a waterless wash that you spray on a dry panel and use many towels to wipe off. By the way, I have tutorials on both. So I have tutorials on a rinseless wash, how to do it properly, and how to do a waterless wash on your vehicle. So I highly encourage you to go watch those. Again, I'll leave links in the description under this video. So topic number 10, is it okay to go to an automated car wash? Oof, that's a tough one, guys, because we were on the topic of washing cars. So if you have a ceramic coated vehicle, it's as a last resort, it's fine. Just keep in mind the following points. If you have a waxed vehicle or a paint sealant on your car, I would avoid car washes, automated car washes, because they typically use very high alkaline pH soaps or shampoos to wash your vehicles, because nobody's touching the surface, right? So they need kind of a stronger chemical, and that can break down or strip away waxes and sealants. So all that hard work that you did would be moot, because, well, the automated car wash would kind of remove that or break that down to the point where you need to reapply. So again, as a last resort, if you have no choice, at least try to avoid the ones that are with contact, meaning the ones that use those brushes or those nylon brushes or fabric brushes. Anything that touches your vehicle you don't want to use, because they use high-powered motors that spin, and those definitely will scratch and swirl your finish. And over time, that mechanical abrasion will not only remove and strip waxes and sealants again, but can also damage your ceramic-coated car, because mechanical abrasion, like from a polisher, is what you use to remove those coatings. So you want to avoid the ones with contact. If you have no other choice, no other alternative, you can use a contactless car wash, but again, keep in mind it's going to break down older waxes and sealants. And over time, it can affect your clear coat as well. So kind of oxidize or make it look in that milky appearance. It's going to start to break it down, so you want to avoid that, because again, they're using super high alkaline pH shampoos in those touchless washes, because again, there's no contact, right? So they need strong chemicals to be able to remove or dislodge all that dirt, debris, and grime off your vehicle. So I think the message is pretty clear. Anyways, if you're watching these videos, you're probably car detailing enthusiasts, professionals, weekend warriors, people who enjoy taking care of their vehicles. I think you would avoid those automated washes. I do understand in the winter, not everybody has access like me to a heated or cooled garage with optimal conditions to wash their vehicles in. So if your vehicle is outside and you don't have access to wash your vehicle, if you can and you have the budget, go see a detailer. I mean, we need to support the local detailing community. They know what they're doing. They'll take care of your cars, right? A bunch of my viewers are professional detailers, by the way, and they work super hard for what they do, so encourage them and have it done properly. But if you don't have the budget and you absolutely want to go to a contactless wash, at least, again, like I said, try the contactless option. Avoid at all costs the ones with brushes and rollers and all that mechanical agitation or abrasion. Do not go for those. And if you have a ceramic coated vehicle, do not use the washes with wax, right? Sometimes when you pay more, they give you wax infusions or wax sprays. That's just going to clog the pores of your coating, and you're going to be missing all those properties from your ceramic or graphene coating, like I said in the first topic of this video. So avoid that. Just take the regular wash if you absolutely need to. But once again, my biggest recommendation, just enjoy washing your car at home. I'd prefer that you guys skip a few washes during the winter from those automated washes if you can do it at home, and wait till you get to the spring to do a proper job. But as a last resort, listen, if you want to, go to a automated car wash, but try to avoid at all costs the ones with rollers and brushes and any mechanical abrasion. Or level 2 is go see a detailer and encourage them. They'll do it properly. And of course, the best of the best, you take care of your own car and you enjoy it. So guys, talking about enjoying, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like these kinds of information, knowledge bombs that I drop on you guys, smash the thumbs up button to show me your support. Again, all the products, tools, and equipment that I spoke about today, I'll drop the links in the description under this video for you guys to check them out. If you haven't done so yet, I think it's kind of important that you guys click the subscribe button that's found under this video. And that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. So you'll continue to learn more about car detailing, all the products, equipment, tips, tricks, and techniques. So guys, thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.